All right. So first off, thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak. My name is Austin, and I run and operate the website for We Write About Music. Guys, today we have Material Flats here, which is Tawny Newsome and Bethany Thomas. Again, thank you guys so much. Super happy to have you.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
where are you guys located right now?
Well, right now I am in Chicago.
Okay, cool.
I'm currently in Atlanta in this bizarre hotel filled with circle art that is not mine. Um, I know it's very strange. It's been in the background of all of my meetings and press things, and whenever anyone asks me to take it down because they're like worried about copyright things, then I discovered that it was screwed to the walls.
Oh,
So
not
not possible for me to remove it. So if you hate it, I'm so sorry. It's there to stay.
as far as the hotel art goes, it could be a lot worse.
That's what I said. I was like, this could have been like a bridge and like a creepy child, but no, it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, I I live in Southern California. That's where we recorded the record Material Flats, but I'm currently in Atlanta.
Nice. Yeah, I'm also in Los Angeles area. I heard about the fire evacuation situation. I hope there's positive updates at this point.
Yeah, I mean the house and the studio is there, so that's the positive,
That's good.
just to keep. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of devastation all over the state, all over the West Coast, really. So
Seriously.
not unique, not unique to me,
No,
but
it's like a yearly thing at this point.
yeah, all my microphones and instruments are still there, so that's what's what's most important.
That's a plus. All right, so before we get into the music, I would love to know about your guys' relationship. How did you meet? How did you start collaborating on music?
Yeah, we have been performing together since 2007-ish. We were both actors in Chicago doing theater, and we did a musical together, and we played best friends who were also sex workers. And I was singing like with a band and then started singing back up with some other band, and they wanted another girl. And Tawny and I got along great. And I was like, do you want to do this? And she did. And we kind of just kept working off of those connections. And yeah, we've been all over with it now.
We've been all over with it. That is true.
Nice. So yeah, so your relationship obviously dates back pretty far then. But how long has this record been in the works for?
Oh, I mean, in a way, you could say ever since I first met Bethany, I
Oh,
knew
wow.
we needed to front something together. But
Yeah.
yeah, we've done a lot of backup in our lives. We've sung for a lot of cool projects, a lot of really talented musicians. Things I wouldn't take back. Maybe one or two gigs I would take back, but like, in general, we've had a pretty cool trajectory. We're both also actors, so we've been able to kind of pursue music concurrently with that, time permitting. And yeah, I think we just always had the sense of like we'd get a little bit closer to kind of fronting a project. We did an album that came out in 2017 with our good friend John Langford and another guitarist named John Szymanski. It was kind of like an homage to the South. We went down to Muscle Shoals, Alabama. We played with the original Muscle Shoals sound session guys like David Hood, and it was this incredible experience. We very much were like sort of an even-handed, weird 4-part lead vocal thing. But when she and I went down there, it didn't change the fact that walking into the studio, the interns still were like, okay, so the backup singer's over there on one mic, and it's just like just internalized biases that we've always kind of confronted in this wing of the music world. So yeah, I think it's just always been like, man, well, if there's just only us in front, if there's only us on the cover of the record, no one can think.
Right.
Yeah, no one can think we're backup singers.
You have creative control. You can do whatever the hell you want and make it your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, no one's gonna look around for the white guy with the guitar to be like, so whose band is this? Like, they have to look at us this time.
Such crap.
So, yeah, like I was gonna say, it does feel like we've had a project like this in us for so long, but the actual project. Like this album came together like in 3 weeks, like a month.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I mean, I loved White Balloon. What an amazing, like, lead-off single. In terms of sound, though, how similar is the album going to sound to that? Or is it going to take different directions, or going to be surprised, too?
It definitely goes in different directions. We had a lot of influences. I mean, I kind of started with a handful of demos. Bethany drove out from Chicago with our guitarist Patrick Martin. My husband played drums, so it really was just like the four of us kind of incubating my little studio and working on stuff. So we kicked around a lot of things that we had kind of come up listening to, like punky stuff like Talking Heads or Gang of Four. But then also, like, we're both singers. We're both such singers that I really have always looked up to, like a Bonnie Raitt, or like, kind of that smooth country-ish sound. Yeah, just sort of what I grew up with. So there's some of that in there. We should have gotten you a link to the whole thing. We can give you a little private listening link.
Oh yeah.
Hear the whole deal.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
right.
that. Things have been a little wild.
All good. Life is way too hectic to remember those little things right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so there's definitely like influences of a little bit of folk in there. Probably harkening back to some of our work we did on that Muscle Shoals album. A little bit of alt country. Yeah, but I really wanted to, a couple of the songs I really wanted to give an homage to, like Talking Heads, and kind of like a Remain in Light type approach to the recording. I engineered and tracked everything myself with these guys' patience and help. Yeah, so I was like, what's an easy way to do this? Probably the way that they had to do things in like 1980 because they didn't have all these bells and whistles that I don't even know how to use. So yeah, kind of a rudimentary approach.
Definitely a learning experience, though. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start when it comes to that type of stuff, so good on you.
You start with YouTube, is where you start, and then they teach you everything.
Where everything starts. Who needs to go to college anymore? We can just go to YouTube and learn all that stuff. So did you guys work on it in person together at all, or was it mainly just sending files back and forth and kind of like collaborating for email and phone and stuff?
I drove out there. Like I took my friend Patrick, who played guitar and bass for us, and we drove to California from Chicago.
Nice.
First week of June, and stayed in a trailer that Tawny and her husband had refurbished on their estate.
Cool.
And yeah, it was really like Tawny said, she had a few demos that she had sent us, and we kind of listened to them on the way, there. And then when we got there, I was like, okay, I've got some ideas about this one. I wrote down some lyrics for this one. And then it kind of just snowballed from those few ideas. Like it was about taking a trip and making something, but I feel like at first we weren't like setting out, we're going to make an album. It was just like, hopefully we'll make something because we have this time together and that's what we love to do. And then it, like right away, it turned into kind of like, no, I think we have a lot of things to say. I think we've got a lot of good energy going here. I think it's going to be a thing, Yeah.
That's amazing. Getting the message out, and honestly, anything that's keeping you busy and not paying super close attention to the world right now is like the perfect getaway, the perfect mental escape. Totally respect that. So who does what? I mean, it sounds like both of you guys sing, but as far as like instrumentation goes, what do you guys play? Did you bring anyone else in to get on the record?
So basically what we did with this is we both play a little bit of a lot of things. And so we kind of tended to write parts and then ask, either my husband, Nate, who played drums, or Patrick, who Bethany mentioned, who played guitar and bass. We would kind of either like hand off the parts, or we'd literally be like dictating.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, Bethany was dictating like up and down strokes for Patrick to play. And like, what a testament to like these two sweet people that we worked with, that they were just like, yeah, okay, I'll play exactly the weird shit that you're clapping in my face. Or
I have no technique, but this is what I need it to sound like.
Yeah.
You're directing. You're really
and
producing.
There were a couple of times where my husband was like, you should just play the drums on this one because you know how you want it to sound. Because I mean, I play a little drums, but I just knew I wanted it tighter than what I could accomplish. So I think that there is a space in the world for musicians like us who have literally been honing entire other careers, entirely separate careers from music. So she and I haven't had well, I'll speak for myself. I haven't had the time or desire to sit down and become like an incredible guitarist. I've had the time to sit down and learn enough so that I can write, so that I can come up with a decent demo. And then I hand it to someone who's like dedicated their whole life to that. And that makes me really happy because I don't feel the need to compete. I don't need to be a great guitarist. I feel good about being a singer, a producer, and then like dealing with my whole other life.
For sure.
Yeah, but I did play keys on the record. That was not intentional. I played them as like a demo, thinking that they'd get replaced later, and they're just in there. So
Sweet. I'll make sure to
Yeah.
look out for them. Let me see here. So this is going to be released through Bloodshot Records, correct?
No, actually, they're
Okay.
just friends of ours. Yeah,
Are
we
they pressing the vinyl?
no, we're just pressing it ourselves through Smash
Oh.
Plastic.
Nice. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Tawny actually has just kind of launched her own record label that we're kind of putting this on. But
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sure.
Well, now I want to
Yeah.
hear all
I
about
like
it.
this. We'll just set this up too.
It's all so insane, Austin. It literally was like they came out for 3 weeks and I was like, maybe we'll record a couple of these demos. Then all of a sudden it was like, well, we need an 8th song to round it out. And now we need publicists that like, we just didn't realize we were doing all this. So, I had a corporation already, for like on camera work, like actors use corporations for tax purposes and stuff. And I always knew that I wanted it to be a label as well. So I just started handling any of the business for this through that corporation. And then my husband and I were like, well, let's just like call it this label. We'll stamp the back of the records with that. And we'll just so we kind of accidentally launched a record label. Is that what people do? Like accidentally start up?
Oh, these accidents happen
Sub
all
Pop,
the
right?
time. Totally.
Yeah.
It's just total accidents. That's amazing. Well, now you got to start signing all the independent bands in LA and start putting them on your label. And
Oof.
I mean, yeah, who needs to act or do podcasts anymore when you can just run your own label, right?
I know. And then cut to in 3 years, everyone hates me. I'm just like this Berry Gordy tyrant who's like taking everyone's residuals or something.
Oh, exactly. Screwing people out of their contracts. Totally up your alley. I'm
Sounds
sure.
like me. Yeah.
So I love the album artwork. Who put that together? It's really visually striking.
It was sort of like my design, and then Nate and our other friend Nick kind of took that design and made it actually an image that we could use on a record and not something that like I made on my phone. So I kind of did. We did a lot of like, it was mostly all pictures, like it's a collage of photos that I took on the trip and on the way there. And I don't know, we spoke very fondly of just like the compound, the space, the flats is what we called it while we were there. And we kept talking about materials and just like, things to make things. And so it made sense, especially since we had like 3 days to come up with art. So
Yeah.
sort of the collage thing, because Tawny and I were no longer in the same time zone then either. So it was like, all right, so we're taking individual photos. They will be photoshopped into something. Go.
Yeah. But she really did. I mean, all those pictures are things that Bethany took. I mean, the trailer on that is the trailer that she stayed in for 3 weeks. That's, they're all pieces from my land, or at least from her driving out there. And so, yeah, we were just like, well, I guess the spirit of this thing has all just kind of been like, take what we've got and put it together. And suddenly there's a whole concept. Suddenly there's a whole album. So the cover feels like what it felt like making this thing.
Yeah.
That's really cool because now you'll have it. Whenever you look at it, it'll flood you back with those memories, and especially having it on vinyl just right there, and you can frame it. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, especially after, not to bring things down, but like so much of my land has now been destroyed from wildfire that there's part of me that's very happy that we have and it's stylized and it's collaged and everything, but like a really, yeah, just an artistic representation of what it looked like kind of at its best, because it probably won't look like that for another, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years. I don't know how long a Joshua tree takes to grow, but yeah, I'm just really glad we have it.
That's just so terrible. You said you're in Atlanta right now. Do you know when you might be heading back, or are they just like cleaning up things, or?
They're cleaning up. My husband is going to be let back in, I think this week sometime. There's still no power, but I'm here working. I'm trying to get back to work on a production, so I'll be here for another month.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nice. All right. So I wanted to keep talking about the vinyl for a second because a lot of other artists that we've talked to have talked about it's been overly difficult to get things pressed these days. There's so many delays with all the plants. What's been your guys' experience trying to get something done, even in just a limited run?
We're
well,
about to find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been appropriately prepped for the delay, right, Bethany?
Well, I mean, if you mean I told people they wouldn't get anything in the mail for a long time, then yeah. We prepped for a delay.
But I mean, even
I'll be happy.
right? Even Smash Plastic, though, like they told us, I feel like what sounded like a long but reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I feel like they said like, like 2 months or something.
Oh, okay.
We're doing, yeah, like the tiniest press. So I don't know if we were, and I feel like they said that they have even a special press for the short runs. So maybe if we were doing more, that would put us on a different waiting list. I don't know.
Just skip the line, I guess. That's pretty good.
I'm just happy
I wonder
that
where
some people are buying it.
Yes, people have been loving the vinyl. I know people who don't even have record players who bought it. I was like, what are you doing? I mean, cool, but it's strange. Yeah, I wonder where some of those delays are coming from. I wonder if it's like in some of the, like in the hubs, like in LA or New York, maybe it's tougher than in Chicago. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's a plus then. It's not going to take a year out.
Yeah.
Not to move away from your music, but Bethany, I wanted to talk about your newest album now that we have you. I listened to it last night and I'm not joking, it kicks ass. Like it's seriously amazing. And I'm not just saying that to pump you up. Like it is really good. How long had you been working on that for? And I want to hear about your backing band as well. Everyone was so talented.
Yeah, they're really something. That album came together that has been coming for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah. We'd been recording it since March of 19. And it was kind of just like, let's try to get into the studio whenever I'm not in a play and Packy's not playing a wedding. And like everybody in the band, everybody involved, like also just has a lot of jobbing gigs and stuff. Like that's what we do. So it was very much just kind of like, can we please find a weekend in here in this month sometime because I'm in town and you're in town and but we did it. We finally got it kind of done by this February, like right before everything shut down. And then when we were starting to mix it, things shut down and we had to cancel, the studio sessions and stuff like that. But Packy, the producer, co-producer, and I kind of emailed mixes back and stuff like that. And I would go on my little walks in the morning and put on my mask and listen to myself sing and figure out what was wrong with it.
Nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with it.
No, it's so incredible.
It's I'm so glad it's done. I loved making it, and some of the songs I've been kind of working on and we've been playing live for several years. And so it was cool to actually get a definitive version down of some stuff. And then some of the songs I wrote while we were recording. So there's new stuff that we had to figure out. What does this sound like while we're in the room, which was very cool as well. I'm glad that I felt like I got a lot of different kinds of experience in making something during the making of this.
Oh, I'm sure of it. And so who do you take influence on that sound? Because it's fairly different from what you guys made. I think it's more of like a commanding and powerful sound.
I think um, it was definitely me kind of figuring out what I would do or the sounds that I would make if I wasn't trying to support someone else or didn't have to try to, or, just wasn't in service of a greater thing besides just like what I wanted to do, I guess. Which was cool. And I definitely feel like that would be the big difference between, what I put out and what Tawny and I made, because like what we do together is so cool. Like it's stupid to not work in service of that,
Mm.
So this was just, yeah, some of the stuff I wrote a long time ago, and it's finally out there and I like it. And that's what I want it to sound like. And some of it, I don't know what else I was going to say. Some of it is newer and I'm still figuring out my relationship to it, I guess.
Sure. I mean, yeah, like it looks like it came out at the end of August, so it's super fresh.
Yeah.
Just need to get the word out on it because more people need to hear it, to be totally honest. It's really
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. But the team I worked with was like half of it was the team that Tawny and I worked with. Dudes that we've kind of been playing with for a long time. And there's this guy, Packy Lundholm, who co-produced with me, and he also co-produced and mixed for Tawny and me. And he played a lot of the instruments, guitar, bass, a lot of stuff, keys. And then Patrick Martin, who played with Tawny and me, also plays on my album and just guitar. And then John Szymanski plays on my album, but he was also in Four Lost Souls with Tawny and me and John Langford. And then I have a drummer named Andrew Green.
And Andrew.
But it was really just the five of us. We made all of the sounds. We did all the things. And like, it's been fun. Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, congratulations again on that. And I would definitely love to review it because it's just really good. More people need to hear. Let's see. So, Tawny, in your sphere of comedy peers, it doesn't feel like, it definitely is. So many comedians are making music at this point. Let's see, like I spoke with John Daly early this week. He's making his own album.
He is?
Yeah, we spoke on Tuesday. He just put out a single with an album that's releasing at the beginning of the year, I think he said. And
is it an earnest album or is it comedy?
Okay.
It is funny.
Okay.
It is funny. I'll definitely plug it. It's called Fatty Daddy. And
okay, there we go. That sounds like John Daly.
If you haven't seen the video, highly recommend if you're in for a laugh. But like even like Chelsea Peretti put out an album. Obviously, like Sloppy Boys are continuing to put out ridiculous albums. What's kind of your take on that? Do you feel? I feel that like comedy and music share very similar borders in terms of like reactions.
Yeah. Well, I'll quote my friend Rhett Miller, who I've known for years back from Bloodshot Chicago days, from the old 97s. He said, every comedian wants to be a rock star. Every musician is just desperate to be funny. Like no one is happy where they are. Everyone wants to do the other thing. So I get it. Yeah, I mean, look, I've written a lot of comedy music in my day when I worked at Second City or writing things for a semi-scripted show I did called Bajillion Dollar Properties. And comedy music is super fun to do. It is not feeding my soul currently because it still just feels like comedy. Music for me is a completely separate area where it's a lot more free. There's no, because no one's paying me to do it. There's no one telling me what to do, frankly. So I wonder if these comedians, if this is their first kind of foray into music, I wonder if after these albums, they'll be like, maybe I don't have to do comedy records. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I wonder if they'll see that like what is exciting them about it is like the freedom that it kind of offers. Right. And so maybe they'll want to do some earnest music because I mean, Chelsea's got a voice. I've heard her sing. I don't know what John's voice is like, but I'd be down to hear, sometimes people, cool, smart, entertaining people, you just want to hear what they make. But yeah, I'm always in favor of trying to get my comedy friends who I know can play or can sing. I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, Mark Evan Jackson plays the trumpet and piano. He plays like classical piano. Yeah. And he's got
I
this
see
like
that actually.
beautiful, right? He's such a
Yeah.
little prep school boy.
Mhm.
He's got this beautiful like bass voice, and he doesn't sing a lot, but like he has like a nice resonance. I'm like, just make music. Like you can just make music. But I think a lot of people are scared. Like they think it has to be incredible. And I'm here to tell you it does not. You just have to stand behind it.
Well, there's more people making, I guess, funny music as opposed to like serious, like musicianship music. So
Yeah, because
I'm
it like
happy,
insulates you.
right. I'm happy you brought that up because I was also going to follow up and say, if you could have one of your, I guess, comedy peers collaborate with you seriously on a record, who would it be?
Oh, a comedy peer to collaborate with me seriously on a record. It's tough because you'd have to pick someone who's not gonna like get in their own way. Um, my first thought, I was gonna say Ben Schwartz. I was just talking to him earlier today. I'm like going insane in this hotel room. So Bethany knows I've sent her like 300 video messages in the last few days because we're like not allowed to leave. So I've been having lots of little like video combos with friends. Ben Schwartz would be great because he's got a great voice. He would constantly second guess himself though the whole time.
100%.
So yeah, I might want to go with like maybe another Space Force person. Maybe I'd go with Diana Silvers because she's like, she can play the guitar, she can sing. She's too young to have self-doubt. She's so young. She's just like, everything's great. And who am I to tell her it's not?
Right. But I think that you could, like, assuming this dream collaboration of you and Ben working together, you could definitely steer him in the right direction because you're right. He is insanely talented with his voice. He does it jokingly sometimes, but the talent is there. You know what I mean? If he took himself seriously and you told him what to do, I think you could definitely make something together.
All right. Well, I'm going to work on producing Benny Schwartz, and
Okay, that's the first sign to your label.
Yeah.
Get him signed. Get him a crazy.
I'll work on it.
Oh man. Well, yeah, that definitely works out. I think you should make it happen. So do you ever feel like you're kind of stretching yourself too thin? I guess sometimes, or maybe not sometimes, but at this point, studios were down for so long. I know that you've kept your podcasting up. But as far as like getting back out there and trying to, be in so many industries at once, do you ever feel overwhelmed or that you're doing too much?
I mean, constantly, but there's no other way to be for me. Yeah, if I wasn't trying to make music, I think I'd be very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wasn't trying to be an actor, I don't think I would have any money. So that's that.
That's where the money's at, not music these days.
Not for me. I mean, I'm never going to be like a pop star. Like, Bethany might.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
Don't say that. I'm telling you, with your album, the right ears hear it, you're set. I'm serious.
I don't know. We got to get the right ears on it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the right ears, Austin? I don't know the right ears.
I know some ears. Like I said, I'm going to review it. So
I got ears. I know ears.
All audience loves it, then who knows what could happen.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but I had one more question to ask you guys. In terms of your personal favorites, there have been so many incredible releases to come out this year. I feel that artists and just bands all over the world are digging into their archives and putting out whatever's on there. What have you guys been listening to? What's been inspiring you?
I don't know if it came out this year, but I've been loving the most recent Jay Sohm. It might have been last year. Anak Ko.
Yes.
So is that last year?
Mm-hmm. I think it was the end of last. Years don't matter.
It counts.
It was 2020.
Some of her stuff was inspiring. I mean, the genres are totally different, but some of the stuff she did with bass lines and stuff was inspiring to me for this record. I also like that. From what I know of her, she did a lot of the tracking and production work herself, kind of like in her bedroom in Echo Park, I think I read. And that sort of opened me up to be like, okay, even though we're doing more live instrument tracking, I think this is something I could tackle. And yeah, and I love her voice. I think it's great.
I've been listening to a lot of Angel Olsen. That's not
great.
I knew there would be a question kind of like this, and I am constantly listening to music, and I never have an actual answer. That's so dumb.
Well, I know it's your Big Thief shirt. I couldn't get through this and not mention it because I love them too. They didn't put out something this year, but what did they have, like 2 albums last year, I think?
Yeah, I was like, they are pretty.
They're set on releases for
there in these streets, yeah. I feel like Spotify, I've just put a lot of trust in Spotify lately, and like they haven't screwed me over with anything super weird. And so I just let it go. I got to get into it.
Yeah, the algorithm, it learns our thoughts.
I do remember when we were writing this album, like I would just put on something kind of random and walk like wandering around and try to figure out lyrics to our songs. Like I remember putting on like that new Neil Young, like reissue, the Homegrown album. That was pretty jammed. The new Mekon's album, I think I was listening to when I was writing Bubbly. Some of those things. I was like,
yeah.
I'm trying to listen.
Don't force it. I'm sure it's an overwhelming amount of music that comes out. No sane person would be able to keep up with all of it.
Right.
About it.
There really is an overwhelming amount, and I'm about to give you more because I want you to have the link to the private link. So I put that in the chat for you. So if you do want to listen to the whole thing before it comes out,
I plan that. Awesome. Well, again, I wanted to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to take the time and talk to myself. Like I said, we're going to be turning this into a featured interview on our website and posting all about you all across our socials, and also an album review once it comes out as well. So thank you again. Take care, and I look forward to hopefully speaking again soon.
Thank you, Austin. This was great. And bye to that sweet puppy.
Oh, she's been so good this whole time.
She's been quiet and sleeping. I love knowing she's there.
She's just staring right at me. Thank you, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.